everyone, my name is Marian Guevara, and today I thought I'd do a movie collection update or a movie collection tour. It's been over 3 years since my last video where I showcased my movie collection, and I thought I'd show you how it's grown, how it's evolved over the years, some titles that I've added to it, some titles that I've culled from it, and I'll just go over my collection. So here we go. So starting off here on the top left, I have my Criterion Collection. I arrange mine in spine number order, and I'm fairly good with watching the Criterions that I take in. I've watched the majority of these films. There's only like a few that I haven't gotten to yet, and yeah, suffice to say, if it's here on the shelf, I adore the film. I love it because I'm fairly good, similar with my books. If I don't like a film, I just end up rehoming it. So all the titles you have here, for the most part, I would recommend. At least they're really to my taste. So let's first start off here with spine number 11. We have The Seventh Seal, directed by Ingmar Bergman. That's spine number 13, one of my favorite films of all time, The Silence of the Lambs. This was one of, I think, the first Criterion I ever bought. Spine number 30, we have M by Fritz Lang. Spine number 44 is The Red Shoes. This is one of my favorite films I discovered on the Criterion Collection. Some of those beautiful dancing sequences put to film. Spine number 85 is Pygmalion, and this is one of the out-of-print Criterions. It's no longer available. They only made it in DVD. But yeah, Leslie Howard and I believe it was, Wendy Hiller. They were fantastic. So we have spine number 133 next, and that's The Vanishing. This was said to be one of, or the most scariest film, said by Stanley Kubrick. Spine number 135. This was another film that I loved before finding out it was part of the Criterion Collection. That's the 1940 Rebecca by Alfred Hitchcock. Next we have 226, that is Onibaba by Kaneko Shindo. Really enjoyed this film. This is part of the Japanese New Wave. Would highly recommend. I actually prefer this over Woman in the Dunes, in fact. 260, that is Eyes Without a Face, French horror film. Fantastic. Really like the soundtrack in this. Very creepy music box soundtrack. Spine number 304. This is an out-of-print edition of The Man Who Fell to Earth. So David Bowie's, I think one of his first starring role in film from 1976. Not going to be for everyone, but I dig it. Next is spine number 431, and that is The Thief of Baghdad. This one stars the fantastic Conrad Veidt. This is a really great, fun, early fantasy film. Spine number 470, another Criterion to find. This one I managed to get at my Barnes & Noble. They actually had this. This is Wise Blood, directed by John Huston, starring Brad Dourif. This is based off of the Flannery O'Connor novel. It doesn't really capture the full depth of the O'Connor novel. I think this is still entertaining, and I really like Brad Dourif's performance. Next, we have 476. That is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. 572. This is another out-of-print film. That is Leon Moron Priest from 1961. Spine number 630. The famous Rosemary's Baby. This is so anxiety-inducing, but really good. Spine number 697 is another Roman Polanski film, Tess, based off of Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. Yeah, another favorite of mine from the Criterion Collection. Spine number 701, Ingmar Bergman's famous Persona. I really need to rewatch this one. Definitely one of those trippy films that you have no idea or you don't really know what's going on. Next is spine number 727, that is The Innocents, and this is one of my favorite films that I discovered through the Criterion Collection, and one of my favorite films of all time. This is a film adaptation of the Henry James novella, Turn of the Screw, and I think this is so much better than the James novel or novella. Spine number 745, Don't Look Now. Spine number 779, the first of the David Lynch's you'll find here. David Lynch is one of my favorite directors, and yeah, Mulholland Drive, it's a lot of people's favorite David Lynch, and I can see why. Next we have spine number 820, Fantastic Planet, one of the few animated films they have in the Criterion Collection, and I really think they ought to fix that. It's honestly one of my favorite sci-fi films. Very trippy, and I really dig the soundtrack. It has a very psychedelic jazz thing going on. Spy Number 838 is my current favorite Guillermo del Toro film, Pan's Labyrinth. Just quintessential dark fantasy. 897 is Barry Lyndon. This is one of the few films I have not watched in my Criterion Collection. It's 3 hours long, and I need to be in the right mood, but I have heard nothing but good things about it. Next is Spy Number 950, that's Some Like It Hot, the famous Billy Wilder comedy. This was great fun. Love this trio. This is a great trio. Next is Spy Number 962, and that is Death in Venice by Luchino Visconti. I think about it quite a bit. I look back on it quite a bit, and I really like the soundtrack to this. This one has Mahler's soundtrack. Then we have Spy Number 974, that is The Heiress, William Wyler. A really great performance by Olivia de Havilland. Then we have my second David Lynch, Spy Number 977, that's Blue Velvet. Yeah, may not be to everyone's taste, but I really enjoyed it. Then we have Spy Number 1051. This is my first David Lynch, and I would recommend you checking this one out first as well, because it's definitely one of his more straightforward films. Spy Number 1084, that is Mirror by Andrei Tarkovsky. Another film that I haven't watched yet, though I should, because it's definitely one of the shorter Tarkovskys. 1126, that's Double Indemnity, Billy Wilder again, classic noir. 1152 is Lost Highway. This is my favorite David Lynch so far. Not gonna be for everyone, but this is a film that kind of blew my mind, even though that's like a phrase that gets overused. Yeah, Lost Highway was an experience for sure. Next is Spy Number 1155, and that is Cure by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Highly recommend this. Another sort of psychological horror, Japanese film. Following that, we have Spy Number 1182, and that is The Servant. This one stars Dirk Bogarde, who was actually in Death in Venice. Now we move on to my Arrow video, and then my One Arrow Academy. So we have here, these are spy numbered as well. We have 76, that is Pulse by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. This is the same director as Cure. I recently watched this. Well, it's my most recent watch, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It has one of the scariest sequences I've seen in a long while. Then we have Spy Number 231, Crimson Peak. I definitely think that this is a film that kind of suffered from the marketing. People kind of went into this thinking it was straight up horror, when this is very much a gothic romance. It's my second favorite Guillermo del Toro film, and I do think that there's sort of a resurgence with this film in terms of physical media, so I really appreciate that. For Arrow Academy, we have Spy Number 42, and that is The Apartment by Billy Wilder. One of my favorite films as well. I decided to switch the cover for the movie poster version. So you see Jack and Shirley there. Now, moving on to the second shelf, on the left we have my Disney films, and then we move on to some Ghibli. We got some anime here, Satoshi Kon, we got some Laika, then some miscellaneous films, and my Blu-ray DVDs, and then we have my DVDs. These are more miscellaneous. But anyway, let's start off with the Disney section. So the first one that I have here is Snow White. These are arranged in like publication, release date or year. So we have Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. We got The Little Mermaid, my favorite Disney film, and always will be, very large part of my childhood. We got Beauty and the Beast. Then we have Aladdin. We got The Lion King, Hunchback of Notre Dame. This is a special edition that contains the original film, but then the direct-to VHS sequel, Hercules, just a random special edition. We have Tarzan, my second favorite Disney film. I never watched this as a kid, but as an adult, I really grew to appreciate it. The animation is superb. Emperor's New Groove and Kronk's New Groove. This was a childhood staple of mine. Atlantis, same thing. It has the original film and then the sequel. And then I have Treasure Planet on DVD. Not a favorite, but I really love that Disney decided to do like a sci-fi adaptation of Treasure Island. The Princess and the Frog. And I only have At World's End. but I do plan on getting Curse of the Black Pearl and Dead Man's Chest because I'm of the opinion that the original Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy, not movies 4 or 5 or whatever they decide to make, like movies 1 to 3 of Pirates of the Caribbean are like the best live action films Disney ever made. Next we have my Ghibli films. We got Spirited Away. This is my favorite one. And then we got Howl's Moving Castle, second favorite. And then lastly we got Mononoke, which is my third favorite. Next we have Death Parade. This is the only anime series that I own. Highly recommend Death Parade. This is a special edition set. This is a box set, and if you've watched the anime, you know the significance of the elevator. So yeah, really cool box set. So glad I was able to pick it up when I was able to, because yeah, you can't get this anymore, only in the secondhand market. Next, we have some Satoshi Kon. So we got Perfect Blue, my favorite Kon film. I've watched all of his films, but yeah, this one is still my favorite. We have Millennium Actress. Pretty underrated Kon, I would say, but yeah, this one is also very good. Also deals with, you know, surreal storytelling, but this one is more historical fiction, while Perfect Blue is like psychological thriller horror. Then we got my Leica films, Coraline. Still my favorite Leica film. They just did a great job with this adaptation. I, in fact, like this adaptation better than the original novel. Next is the Box Trolls, and unpopular opinion, but this is my second favorite Leica film. I don't know, there's just something about the setting, the vibes, if you will, on this one that I actually like. Then we have Akino Lorber with The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, one of my favorite black and white films, silent films. This one has the amazing Conrad Veidt as well. If you haven't checked out Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, please do so. Great example of German expressionism. Then we have another silent film with Conrad Veidt, The Man Who Laughs. If you've seen my, a lot of my recent videos, you would have seen The Man Who Laughs. Veidt is definitely one of my favorite actors. The Babadook, another great film from 2010s. One of the best horror films to come out of the 2010s. This is the Scream Factory edition, the one that comes with the special slipcase that opens up like a picture book, pop-up book. Joker. I know it's like become popular to dislike this film, but I really enjoyed it. I saw this in theaters like several times, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the sequel, even though I'm kind of nervous because from what I've seen of it, what I've heard about it, it could either be amazing or I can see it being terrible, so we'll just have to see. Next is The Northman. I still need to watch this one. Robert Eggers, the director, he's one of my favorite directors that are working right now. Irma la Douce. This is another Billy Wilder film starring Jack and Shirley. The same duo from The Apartment. Blade Runner 2049, Denis Villeneuve. He's quite popular now with Dune 2 at the moment. But yeah, this one, Blade Runner 2049, I don't like it better than the original. But in terms of sequels, like this is definitely one of the better ones. Next we have my DVDs. So we have Persuasion, 1995, and honestly still the best adaptation of the Jane Austen novel. Sleepy Hollow, I need to rewatch. I watched this one long ago, back when Blockbuster was still around. The Thing, it's a classic sci-fi horror. Another Satoshi Kon, Paprika. It was the last film that Kon made before he passed away. Blade Runner, The Final Cut. Great film. Great sci-fi film. Casino Royale. Really enjoy this action film. And then we have The Witch and the Lighthouse by Robert Eggers. Really great films. Willem Dafoe, Robert Pattinson. Fantastic performances. Then we got One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Need to watch this one. Gone with the Wind. Still have not watched this. Really ought to. And then lastly, The Shining. So that is an update to my movie collection. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions regarding, more detailed thoughts on any of these titles or where I got them, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I look forward to replying. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!